interesting thing happened not too long ago. I got called a bitch on my birthday. Of all days, I know. Already there's empathy, right? I had turned 55, and I was kind of in a heightened state. So there might have been, some reasons for this altercation. There was a sort of a traffic altercation. So how many of you, do any of you know the song Steel Claw by Tina Turner? Oh, please say you do, somebody. It's from Private Dancer, 1984. It is Tina Turner doing rock and roll with Jeff Beck on guitar. Yes, thank you. And it's one of her lesser-known songs. But the reason why I like it so much, not just because of the rock and roll and because of the Jeff Beck guitar solo, but because there's a great line in that song, and the line is, "Easy living when you make the rules." Easy living when you make the rules. Think about that as you go through this story. But back to that altercation. So I was already in a heightened state, not because I was turning 55 2 months ago on February 6th, 2017, not because of that. I was fine with being in 2017 with all that was going on in the world, all that's going on with various elections. I thought that 2017 is the perfect year to turn into an old black woman. Because you know what? We don't take any crap. We just don't. And there was a time when I did take crap. I took a lot of crap as a young black woman. As a woman, as a black woman. I took a lot of crap. But on that day, February 6th, 2017, something was different. Something was very different. So on my birthday when I turned 55, my wonderful 25-year-old daughter took me out to dinner. And what a treat that is to have a child treat you to a meal. And we were just about finishing up when I got a phone call, and that phone call came from my sister. And the phone call was, "Mom is in the hospital, you've got to get here." So immediately my heart jumped. My mother is 81 years old. She is a rock, she is a saint, she is a woman of the greatest dignity you can ever imagine, and she is the primary and only caregiver to my father, who's 85 and has dementia. So when I heard that she had a blood clot, I was frightened. She had fallen on the ice a few weeks before that actually, and had badly sprained her ankle. And miraculously, at 81 years old, she got up, got herself from the house, and made a phone call to let me know. So we thought she was on the other end of this thing when we get this phone call about her having a blood clot. So I jump into my car and I head up. I was going 80 miles an hour up the I-5 freeway to get to Salmon Creek Legacy Hospital in no time flat, from Portland to Vancouver in 14 minutes during rush hour. When does that happen? But it happened because I'm an old black woman. Right? So I get there and my heart is just sinking, because as my mother has spent so many years as the primary care provider for my father, my prayer, and I am so sorry to admit this, but my prayer has been, please let him go so she can have at least a few years to do what she wants to do. And that's the hope I've had from my mother for many years, in her having to deal with my father, who also is a great person, but he has dementia, and that's been a very difficult situation. So I get there, and everything is fine. No blood clot. She is yakking it up with the people, with the doctor and the nurses, and she had on her little furry hat, and she was ready to go. So I thought, okay, great. That was a huge relief. So I thought, I'll go out and get the car. So I go out to get the car while she is waiting inside, and I go get the car, and I'm pulling it up to that turnaround. There's that turnaround in the emergency area, and because people are sick, so they don't want to go very far. That's why they have turnarounds. So there's 2 cars in the turnaround, and it's pretty wide. It could probably be like 3 cars wide. And so I see 2 cars parked there, and I see, just not really paying much attention, but another car, like a truck on my right-hand side, just kind of on the side of my vision. I don't think anything of it. So I make my turn into the emergency room turnabout, and didn't know that there were apparently a queue and rules around when you go, because this truck at that time rails around behind me and honks its horn. And my little mom is standing there with her purse and her little hat, and she's going like, go, meaning, Leann, no, just keep going. Just go back around, let this jerk go around, and then we'll be fine. So for a moment, I thought I was going to do that. Remember when I used to take crap? I was thinking about doing that, and then I thought, no, I'm not. Why? Just because I'm in a Honda Fit and he's in a Ram 300 something or other? No, I'm not going to do that. So I wait, and he honks again. I'm getting my mother in the car. He keeps honking. And we get in the car, and then he yells, "Get out of my way! Can you hurry it up?" So it was on. So I opened my door back up. I opened my door, and I said, "Hey, can you give us a minute, please? Okay, just give us a minute." And I closed the door. And then I thought, I better put my seatbelt on, but it's going to take me a long time to get this seatbelt on. Right? A really long time. So I'm putting on my seatbelt. Oops, I can't find the little clicker thing. Oh, there it is. And he's honking again. He keeps honking. And so at that point in time, I said, okay, fine. So I opened the door again, and I said, "Excuse me." I'm trying to explain. I didn't do this on purpose. He's calling me rude. His wife is calling me rude. There's stereophonic people on either side of us calling me rude. And I just turned around, and I saw this puffy-faced man, and he goes, "Get out of my way!" And he's just yelling and calling me names and telling me that I'm rude. And then I said, "You know what? Just give me a minute." And I just looked at him, and I said, little man. And apparently those are fighting words. Who knew? Little man. So remember that, little man. And he kind of goes back like this, and his little lips are kind of like this, and he goes, "Bitch." I go, "Oh, that's nice. That's real nice," and I shut my door. So anyway, we're still sitting there just trying to get out of his way. I'm moving pretty quickly trying to get out of his way. And he's still honking, so, I just said, and my poor little mom is sitting there the whole time, just totally dignified, holding her little purse, and just going, "Leann, let's just go. And I kind of had forgotten about the blood clot and everything for a while. And I know it's horrible, isn't it? I wanted to win. And so I opened the door one more time, and I have no idea what I'm going to do or what I'm going to say. But I think what happened in that moment is the dignity of my mother was emanating off of her. This little 81-year-old woman who had raised 3 children, who was an occupational therapist, who made cookies and cakes at birthday, who took care of my father. I mean, all these things. And that dignity was just coming off of her. So I opened the door, I looked back around, and I said, "Hey, I've had a hard day. I've had a stressful day. How about you?" He goes, "Yeah." So, I didn't know. It was not my intent to cut you off. I had no idea you were waiting. And we're here at the hospital. It's a hard day for both of us, right? He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, thanks. I'm sorry. I'm going now." And I shut the door. And we drive off. I got the upper hand there for a moment, but I'll have to say really honestly that I was shaking. And I was very, very upset. And then I started thinking about what was going on, what was really going on. And it occurred to me that this has played itself over and over and over again in our society, right? That there are rules, and that there are rules that are made, and that there are rules that people from marginalized communities such as myself, we are held accountable for those rules, but nobody tells us what those rules are. So it was much a metaphor for very much of my life. So there was that. And then I started thinking about the fact about him calling me a bitch. And the expression and look on his face when I kind of said, nice try, or that's real nice. And the look on his face made me realize, as I reflected upon that he was probably more shocked that that word came out of his mouth than my ears were to hear that word. That word meant nothing to me. Nothing to me. I have been called all kinds of names, all kinds of racial epithets. It meant nothing to me. Now, when he called me rude, that had got me, but he didn't know that. So you add rude or stupid or ignorant or, those words are the words that get me, but not bitch. That didn't get me. I've heard a lot worse than that. So there was that. And then there was the crowning moment when I realized what I had done. I was tired of other people holding the rules. I was tired of the power that they had in holding those rules. I was tired of people lording over other people who are human beings just like they are. I was tired of all of that. And so in that moment, what I did, thanks to the dignity of my mother, I changed the rules. His rules no longer applied. Easy living when you make the rules. I exacted my own revenge, just like Tina Turner in that song, Steel Claw, when she took that hammer and she got her vengeance. So it's a story of self-indulgence, story of greed, and story of power and regaining that power. Yes, indeed, easy living when you make the rules. Thank you very much.